Chapter 8. When he saw the notice, Ernie jumped onto a grunting machine. He waved his fist in the air. "No surrender!" he yelled. "We'll fight them in the bedrooms, and we'll fight them in the kitchen, and we'll fight them in the hall. We'll build barricades and booby traps. No surrender! No surrender! God and justice are on our side." "No, they're not," said Annie. "There's nothing but daftness on our side. Look what we've done to our lovely home." "But look what it brought us," boomed Ernie. "Look at this thriving business. We've got cash in our pockets and food on our table." "Table?" yelled Annie. "We haven't even got a table." Quietly, Stan backed into his cupboard with a piece of birthday cake. He crumbled fragments of the cake and fed it to his fish. Their little mouths opened and closed, just like they were singing happy birthday to him, and Stan softly sang along. He held his hand in the water and tickled and stroked the goldfish. They rose to the surface and peered out at him with tiny dark eyes. "You're my best friends," he whispered. Outside, Ernie thundered about the sales of sardines, the markup on mackerel, the profits on pilchards. Stan shook his head. "Those fish don't matter," he whispered. "Goldfish are the fish that matter. Goldfish are gorgeous. Goldfish are great." The 13 fish wriggled and waved in the water, just like they understood. Stan giggled and smiled at them. He was sure that if they could, they'd smile back. All went deadly quiet outside. No machines, no chanting or singing, no arguing. Annie came to Stan's cupboard door. "Your uncle's thinking," she whispered. "Thinking about what?" Stan whispered back. "Just thinking," said Annie. They listened to the silence together for a moment. "Maybe thinking will bring him back to his senses," said Annie. "Let's hope so," said Stan. And he sighed and smiled, and Annie stroked his hair, and the goldfish swam in a little shoal around his hand. Chapter 9. Well, how can we watch what happens next? How can we read of such dastardly deeds and sinfulness and tragedy? What could be so awful, you may well ask? Oh, innocent reader, just do your job and read. Just listen, just watch. Or close the book and go away. Turn to happier tales. Leave these soon-to-be doom-laden pages behind. Go quickly. Otherwise, read on. It's deep into the night. All seems calm in 69 Fish Key Lane. Stands in his cupboard, fast asleep. He dreams of ducks and fish in a bucket, and of a girl's eyes peeping through a peephole in the dust. Annie snoozes too. Her dreams are of how things used to be. She holds the hands of her husband and her nephew, and they walk and laugh beside the glittering river. There are great half-built ships standing there. There are men at work. There are fish and chip suppers on the quay. There are no fish canning machines. Ernie's voice is raised in gentle laughter. Ernie doesn't sleep. He doesn't laugh. He perches on a filleting machine. He thinks and thinks, and as he thinks, a vision comes to him. A glorious, wonderful, and awful vision. He knows that he should reject it, that he should ignore it, that he should fight it off. And he does try, indeed he does. He mutters to himself, "No." He clenches his fist, "No." All around, his machines are slumbering. There are gentle crackles of electricity, gurgles of water, hisses of steam. And he knows that the machines are his, that they are waiting, that they will do his will. He knows that they could make his vision real, but he continues to fight it. "No! I cannot! No!" The night thickens and deepens, and the vision comes again and again and again, and Ernie mutters, "No! No! No!" And then it's almost dawn, the stillest hour, the deadest hour, the darkest portion of the night. "No," he whispers once again, but even as he whispers, he's stepping down from the filleting machine. He's tiptoeing past his sleeping wife. He's tiptoeing towards his sleeping nephew's door. He has a frying pan in his hand, and the machines are sighing, half in horror, half in joy, at what the master is about to do. "Be brave," he whispers to himself as he creeps slowly towards the cupboard door. "Yes, it's dreadful, but it's for the best. Yes, it's cruel, but it will make us rich. It will make us famous. Then nobody will be able to shut us down. Nobody will ever be able to take nothing from us ever again. Do it, Ernie. Do it. Do it for the future. Do it for the family. Do it for poor little Stan." He opens the door. A shaft of moonlight shines in upon the sleeping boy and falls across the bucket. There they are, the beautiful, tender, golden ones. By now, Ernie is deep inside his own vision. There's no resistance left. He grins as he reaches down into the water, as he catches the fish one by one, as he puts them one by one into the pan. He catches 12. They lie gasping and writhing and squirming in the pan. The 13 dodges and dives in the water, flicking free of Ernie's fingers again and again. He clicks his tongue and grunts, "Keep still, you pesky." The boy stirs in his sleep. Ernie crouches still as a statue, hardly breathes. The 12 fish suck at the air in frantic agony and silence. The boy sleeps on. Ernie slithers backwards, crawls out through the door. "Come with me, my lovely ones," he whispers. He hurries to his machines. "This won't hurt a bit," he says. He presses buttons, flicks levers, switches. He grins. He clenches his fists. He leaps with joy as the machines come back to vivid life and begin to do his work.
Chapter 10. It's daylight when Stan wakes. There's no alarm, no hooter, no wakey. He rubs his eyes. "Am I late?" he says. Then he looks down into his deserted bucket. The single fish rises from its depths. and as its mouth goes oh and oh and oh and oh, Stan hears its voice somewhere in his brain. My companions, weeps the fish. Your companions? Answers Stan. Where are they? The fish swims sideways, turns away its face. They are taken. Taken? What do you mean taken? Taken by who? But there is no answer. The fish swims down to the bottom of the bucket in grief and silence. There is a cry from outside, a cry of dreadful joy, of triumph. Yes, 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 yes! Oh no, cries Annie. Yes, cries Ernie. Stan stands up, opens his door. His uncle turns to him. Here it is, he cries, our new line. And he holds up a little tin with the great golden writing on it, Potts's gorgeous, glittering goldfish. Chapter 11. What would you do? Jump for joy that your uncle was so clever? Go for him with your feet and fists? Say I forgive you, Uncle Ernie. I know that your actions, though sadly misguided, arise from the best of intentions. Would you beat the earth in anguish? Would you scream in pain? Would you howl with rage? Would you stamp and hiss and snarl and spit? Stan, he did none of these things. The horror of the tin transfixed him. He couldn't move, he couldn't speak. Ernie cradled the tin in his hands and murmured about a golden future. Stan's eyes gazed over as his uncle talked of shop shelves stacked with gourmet goldfish tinned by Ernest Potts. He talked of diners nibbling Potts's gorgeous glittering goldfish at the Ritz. Annie went over to her nephew. She tried to hold him to her breast, but he couldn't move. He was a statue. His heart beat to the rhythm of the tragic words of the 13th fish. My companions, oh, my lost companions. Then Stan blinked, coughed, reached down and lifted his bucket. I think I'll go for a walk, Auntie Annie, he said. A walk? Yes, a walk. Ernie smiled. Good idea, lad, he said. Stretch your legs. Clear your head. Get a breath of fresh air. He winked at Annie. See, he said. He'll get over it, won't you, lad? Ernie stepped aside as Stan brushed past him. He reached out to tousle Stan's hair. Stan turned to face him. I'd rather you didn't do that, he said quietly. He opened the front door. Stan, called Annie. Stan. I'll be fine, said Stan. See, said Ernie. Give the lad time. On his own. That's what he needs. Then he had a great idea. Hey, Stan, you could go back to the fair. Get some more of those little beauties for me. 2 tons or so should do it. Ha 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 ha. Tinned goldfish. They'll knock sardines off the shelf. They'll topple tuna. They'll annihilate the anchovies. Tinned bloomin' goldfish. I'm a total wonder. I'm a fishy genius. Fame and fortune's just around the corner. Stan turned, took one last look as his uncle and aunt walked away.